don't underestimate the intelligence of indigenous people who are in themselves scientists, making observations in nature. That's why, by the way, for the record, I dedicate my book to Maria Sabina, a Mazatec um, knowledge keeper, a Sabia. She said, I'm not a shaman. That's too much work. She's a knowledge keeper. To Kit Skates, who is a renowned mycologist in Idaho, who mentored me, and Tina Wasson, R. Gordon Wasson's wife, who died in 1958. She was a Russian physician. These are three hugely important women who literally opened up the doors that many of us have walked through. Women do not get enough credit for their pivotal influence. And the lesson from psilocybin, even from Mazatec shamans recently, I hear this all the time. The message from psilocybin is to share. Psilocybin mushrooms are sustainable. They can be grown. And psilocybin mushrooms that are being grown now, Psilocybe cubensis, which we think came from the old world, Africa, being grown in Oaxaca for the Mazatec shamans so they can have access to psilocybin mushrooms when it's not the rainy season, so they can continue their practices. So this is a fusion of Western and Eastern coming together. It speaks to something called two-eyed seeing, which is something Albert Marshall and his wife, Moderna, came up with this concept of two-eyed seeing when they're Eastern Canadian First Nations people, and they were confronted by a mother who asked, why should I send my Indigenous child to a Western school? And Moderna and Albert Marshall came up with this fantastic, analogy saying, one eye we can see with indigenous wisdom, the other eye we can see and help with Western technology. With two eyes, we can see better than one. So this is respecting indigenous wisdom. We don't want to influence it, but we want to help access so they can continue their practices, so they can preserve their culture. This is so important that indigenous communities are respected and protected. They're not marginalized, but the Western science of being able to grow these things, and my book in particular, I think will go down in history as a book that will support indigenous cultures by allowing them to be able to have a supply of these in an ecologically sustainable way. And moreover, humans migrate. Pick your number, 25,000, 100,000, 200,000 years ago, there was no humans in the Americas, right? So humans migrated into the Americas. Knowledge threads were frayed, broken, some survived. So exchanging knowledge is the way of humans. We meet someone on a trail. It's much better to be a friend than a foe. Just from infection, if you get a wound, you're likely to die. Exchanging and the random acts of kindness is what has built our societies, is the foundation of our societies. So sharing and respecting, but not marginalizing, not colonizing their culture, even though migration is a form of biological colonization. The two are very distinctly different. The panspermia, humans like travel. We're adventurers. We go to new lands. We take the skills of our ancestors. We go to new lands. Hopefully you meet a friend, not a foe. You collaborate, you exchange gifts, and you both are better for it. And that, I think, is the lesson of these mushrooms, is that these are such beautiful peacemakers. So we need more peaceful. I think we have a crisis of creativity right now. And these psilocybin mushrooms, I believe, are Einstein mushrooms, Einstein molecules. They inspire creativity. And I think, this is where artificial intelligence, according to Sam Altman, can't really create. They can assemble. They can have derivative assemblies. They can do things much better than humans can do. But we need to have a quantum leap in consciousness. And I think psilocybin inspires creativity for that quantum leap. That certainly has been true in my life.